Everyone, I'm Allie and welcome to this YouTube live stream. Thanks so much for joining in. We are going to be playing with a subscription box. So if you're unfamiliar with Potomac Beads or you've never realized we've done subscriptions, we have two subscription options for you, and exciting coming next month is some subscription add-ons. You can actually go into your account if you want to and you have a subscription, go to your subscriptions in your account and check out some of the add-ons there as well too. We have the two subscription. One is the kit box. In the kit box, you get 3 projects each month. They come with instructions, everything that you need to do to design. And then we also get what we call a treasure box. The treasure box usually has limited quantity runs of things, special items, things that inspire us, and they have a theme that goes along with it. I thought I would show you some of the examples of this month's kit subscription. So that way, just in case you were thinking about that, it's always nice to see them up close and personal. It's hard sometimes to decide whether or not you like something. When you subscribe, you can subscribe for a month, a quarter, a year. So there's no limit to your subscription. If you want to, you can cancel at any time. If you go month to month, you can order this one and then you can cancel right away if you don't want next month's or you want to wait and see. When we have you subscribe for a longer period of time, you get a discount because that helps us to plan and helps us to know, and you should be given a discount for purchasing more. So let's go in and I'll give a little shouts out. Hello to Chris in India and Kim. Hello to others joining in as well too, to Courtney. When we are going in now and looking at the items, here is this month's beautiful necklace and earrings to match. This is the Draping Pearl necklace from Anna. It has storm duos, iris duos, and then it also has these beautiful pearls in 6 and 4 millimeter. There's also the little petite dainty pearl or petal earrings. These take out the storm duo and they use just the iris duo and some of that same formation to go and kind of decorate the outside of them. Perfect for spring. I've seen a couple people do them in different colors and they are gorgeous. And this one here, the Draping Pearls, when it's on, it hangs down in a very, very elegant look. If you want it to drape a little bit less, you take one of those pearls out and you can break it down if you want to and only have one of the actual formation. You can not have it drape at the bottom, not have that added, really up to you. And then a play on some of the crystal chatons there, along with some Azuki seed beads, Miyuki seed beads, and some Potomac picks. This is the rice crystal bracelet. Shiny and bright, kind of a contrast to the pearls here. Sometimes we do sets. Sometimes we give you individual products, and even though they are different, you could also put a chaton in the middle there of all of your pearls if you wanted to jazz that up a little bit. So an idea to use your subscription box. In addition to the kit boxes, we have again the treasure box. So you may have already seen with the treasure box the glamorous earrings that were done here. I'll show you. These are the glamorous earrings, and I published these last week, or earlier this week rather. These use the materials from this month's box. This month's box here, we'll get the camera a little bit bigger, is entitled Pink Lemonade, and I got my pink nails for our Pink Lemonade box here. I wanted to show that even though it's Pink Lemonade, these earrings are very, very neutral. You can kind of wear them with anything, and they're nice and lightweight, super lightweight earrings. And they are using some of the materials that are inside the box. I also have the honor of showing you some of Chris Lewis King's designs with the box, and you can check out some of our other influencers as well if you kind of search the hashtag best bead box. They're on a couple of different channels. So this again is the Pink Lemonade treasure box. And we named it accordingly because everything in here is kind of pink and yellow and nice and springtime. It's getting so warm and so much budding outside, so much going on and so much vibration or vibrant life going on. This box offers a vibrant ambiance mix of soft pinks, yellows, peach tones, well balanced. It has nevettes and pearls, deep and rich with timeless vibe, flower charms, whimsical touches, all of that. So I'll show you what they are here. These are Eva beads versus Ava beads. Good question, Chris. These are going to be the Ava beads. So I've already taken some of these out of the box. So I'll show you kind of and push the box to the side a little bit. These, you're getting a full pack here of your Eva beads here. And on the back of the insert too, it tells you exactly what is inside the box. Generally, about 20 different items are inside the box. So you have the Eva beads here, pack of 20. And Chris King made also some really beautiful earrings with it. Then I have right here at the top as well the Navettes. We got a 6-pack of those. So if you want to, you can do a couple different pairs of the glamorous earrings. And then I love the neutrality of these white check daggers. That's what I have hanging at the bottom of my earring here. And then some crystals just at the top and the bottom as well. So the white daggers, great for spring. A lot of neutrals I wanted to show, and I used the 3mm crystal AB bicones. I think you can never have enough 2mm, 3mm, 4mm crystal AB bicones because they match everything. So this one here, you got a full 120 pack. In addition to that, you get a pocket size ruler. So this is awesome because this is a tool that's inside the box. Usually there's thread or needle or calipers, organizers. There's always something little in the box extra. This one here is the pocket size ruler. It shows you the different size beads that you have, the different gauges of wire, and you can actually pop your beads into there to see what size they are. It goes up to a 3.5 on the ruler and then up to 9 centimeters as well. So this is great if you are going to a bead festival or a fair, that you can go in, make sure that you have all of your beads and you have the correct number and everything. This may have a protective coating on it, which would be brown along the back, and you're just going to take that out, and when you take that off, you are left with the frosted color. I like this frosted one because you can actually see through it. So you can line up your project and see, okay, how long are the glamorous earrings? Good question. Let's look. I can look right through the ruler there, and I can see that they are right about 42 millimeters from top to bottom. So perfect little tool to keep and to have handy, whether or not you're going in and keeping it in the car, because you never know. Especially people lose jewelry all the time, and if people know that you make jewelry, they're going to give you broken things. I have it happen all the time. Take this ultimate ruler here and keep it in your car, so that way if you know that you have something that you need to make, oh, do I have that on here? And here's your pocket ruler size. So I'm going to put that off to the side. It's the ultimate pocket ruler. There is also a larger version of it too. So if you want to get the larger version also has stone sizes in it for chatons and different elements. And then it also has the Delica bead and the Toho and sizing, as well as millimeter to inch also. So in case you need to see that, that has that option as well too. Does the green look like, is it hard to see? I don't have one up here. You can still see through. There's also some new colors that are coming out as well too. All right. In addition to the mini ruler, then we get into kind of the pinks and beautiful colors of the pink lemonade box. You can see I've made some other little pieces here. In the box is also what I call the macaroni noodles. So these are the Potomac beads, curved tube beads. They are 2 by 10 millimeters. So 2 thick, 10 wide. They work really well on stretchy string. They work on beading wire. They do not like to go through a beading needle. I use them here just with one of the rondelles that's in the box as well, putting them on top on the side. And then just to show again that nice little simple look and simple design, here's the macaroni bracelet that I made picked up an 8/0 seed bead that I had in my stash, mixed it with those macaroni beads, and now I have a nice stretchy bracelet. Kind of a fun look because it goes up and down with those little macaronis. So I had fun creating with those. There is also in here those rondelles that were used. These are a peach check glass faceted rondelle. They have a little bit of a pinch nature to them as well, about an 8 by 7 millimeter. We have some pink crystals as well too. So if you want to do a nice springish bracelet, you have those nice light pink crystals. These are 4mm bicone in the light rose color, pack of 60. A nice neutral 8.0 is the Jasmine Translucent Miyuki Seed Bead. You're getting a full 16-inch gram tube of those. We do them in bags and we have that. And that matches the neutrals of the check flowers with designs. There's a couple different colors of that, as well as the neutral of this beautiful little gold wash pink, pink petal bead. And these are super fun. I'll show you again what Chris did with those. They can be highlighted with the 6mm full strand of your Potomac Pearl. We have a round trio bead in the white Lila Luster. Full package of those as well. These beautiful lemonade beads. So this is what inspired the name of the pink lemonade. They are really, really fun check glass squares that show you the difference in how the check glass manufacturing goes. So they have those different color swirls in them, and the bright yellow is really, really in fashion this season. I've been looking and going through the kind of websites, looking for a new bathing suit, all of that, and everything is bright fluorescent colors for the summer. Really, really brights are in. You can see my nails too are bright, trying to get inspired for that. Chris, for the earrings that I use the tubes and the rondelles for, I used a 24 gauge wire to go through here to create that little horseshoe effect of the macaroni beads. We have here to go along with some of your pink style of that pink lemonade here also. Some baby pink swirled faceted 12mm check glass beads, a strand of 6mm light jonquil, some matted 6mm frosted 7mm frosted check glass smooth rounds, and some Athena cast flower pieces here. These have a little opening in the center, and with the ridges, you can go in and add some seed beads if you want to, and bead back and forth and bead the forms as you're working and looking at them. You get a 2-pack of these, and because they are on the thinner side here, you can go in and even just keep them as earrings if you want kind of that bigger look. I love big earrings for for summer. I love that big earring look. But in the center there, it has room for you to put a crystal in the middle there if you want to, just taking the thread back. You can also use a head pin. I'll show you how to do that as well too. So, Megan, sorry that you're home with a sick kiddo, but silver lining to the day is that you can join and hang out and have fun. So thanks for joining in. So if you guys were a little bit late to the broadcast here, I'm going to go over quick as I put things basically back to the side. You get 2 of these really fun Athena cast flower earring settings, or pendant if you're not into big earrings. A full strand of Potomac pearls. It says 34, but it's a full strand. You have check faceted rondelles. I've already used some of them for my package. 4mm bicone in your light rose, pack of 60. A full tube amount of the Miyuki Translucent Jasmine. I love the translucent. I use the Thistle a lot, which is a pretty purple color to mix. A number of different colors were used in the flower design. Check cabochons. They do have a hole. Full package of your round trio white Lila Luster 6mm bead. These beautiful gold wash pink petals. We don't have a ton of those, so that's why you get them in the treasure box. Some matted yellow 7mm rounds. Some faceted 12mm baby pink swirled check glass, although they do look like the pink jade. 6mm strand of pearls, or strand of beads. These fun yellow and crystal swirled beads. Crystal Novettes in a pack of 6. Which I used the macaroni beads then that I'm going to show next, and the rondelles and the little crystal on top. I've also made, where'd they go? Here we go. The glamorous earrings, which published out of those as well, using 1 in each middle. We also have a full package of 20 Eva beads in the Aztec gold color, a pocket size ultimate ruler, a full pack of 120 3mm bicones. You can never have enough of these. White dagger, 25mm. If you've never made the Gerbera Daisy pendant. Use these white petals and make the Gerbera Daisy pendant because you will be, you'll love the look that it looks like a white daisy versus the orange one that we used in it. And then also we have, like I said, those macaroni beads, and I went ahead and I made my air wires out of some head pins from a previous box. So I want to show you and give you some ideas of what Chris King, who is on this stream, did with her box. She sent me her goodies and just giving you guys an idea of some things to create here. Here are a number of different earrings. These are really pretty. They just use that translucent seed bead along with the petals and the 6mm pearls right at the top. Here she uses the macaroni beads, or those 2 beads, to decorate the exterior. And look how we both had the idea to use the crystal on the front of the dagger. Hers uses the 4mm, and then the round trio right along the top for a little setting earring. These to me look like dancing ladies. They look like dancing ladies that are kind of moving all along. Also featuring the pearls is this super simple strong bracelet. It has the rondelles in the middle. It would look great with those rondelle earrings that I had, using some 11-Os from her stash here. I think these may have even been in the last subscription box. They have the translucent beads going in and out and in and out of this. This would be a great necklace design as well too, if you wanted to do that to match your petal earrings. You could even put a little petal in the middle. Here Chris has a necklace that she used the sweet little 3mm bicones for, and used her tubes here to decorate the outside of one of the navettes. They just keep going. This is all from the same box here. Here's what I was saying, how she used the form, and this is super fun. So if we can get Chris to do a video, or if she wants me to do one, I can do that. Here's that flower form. So you can use the flower form by itself, but you can also decorate it. So here's what I was saying. She did a brick stitch along the outer edge with those translucent beads, then coming out the top and putting in a row of 11-O seed beads from her stash, dropping in the crystals on the corners, and then took thread down to the middle to that opening there and put a little crystal in the center of the design. So look at the possibilities when you see things, how cute and pretty these are. I actually love this with the idea of just that simple necklace as well, that you can put that on there. So kudos, Chris. This was my favorite of all of the projects that you had in the box, was using this form and decorating it and beading it. Actually, when I first took it out of the package, I forgot that the forms were in it, and I was like, how did she do this? This is so cool. And then I was like, oh yeah, she used the forms. Really, really fun idea for that. There is also more. Just when you think there's not enough, there's more. Also here is that pink lemonade staple bracelet, which works really well with a set of earrings. This is just taking beads and using the round trio beads. And you can take the round trio beads here and work with them as a frame. So this actually sits to the side. It'll kind of turn on your wrist. But the round trio going through all 3 holes. The outer holes have on the seed beads. The inner hole has that nice square running along. So whether or not it's rolling on your wrist, it's unique and fun from all different angles that you're wearing it. Again, same thing. I think this would be a gorgeous necklace with that bright pink, or that bright yellow, which again is everywhere for summer. Here is, and this is all from the box. So remember, this is all still part of the box, and she still has materials left. This is a beaded bead, just a 4 beaded bead here with the Eva beads that wrap and go around them, almost like a lantern style earring. And then here is some flowers. So here is a flower design. For the flower design, all you're doing is making loops on one side, loops on the other, and then decorating the center with a flower. I thought what we would do, since Chris had so many great designs, I don't need to reinvent the wheel, which is really, really nice. I thought I'd show you guys how to do these simple little flowers with any bead that is in your box. So if you've never done these simple little flowers, that's what we're going to do for during this live, is I'm going to show you how to do those little flowers. So lovely designs. Thank you so much, Chris. If you're just joining us and you didn't see all of Chris's amazing designs, we have other influencers as well too that make things each month and post their photos on YouTube and on Facebook and design and create with it as well. These are absolutely gorgeous. So thank you to Chris for sharing all of her inspiration and designs and ideas with us. It's super fun to see them in person. Pictures do one thing, but to see them in person is great because you just get a better feel for it. So what I wanted to do again was show you how to do this little flower design, and then you can maybe even drop one of the bigger flowers down. So if you remember, Chris had her floral form here. And look how fun that is to drop another one down on that. You can even do a whole necklace dropping this down as well. So we're going to go in and I'm going to show you how to do a little flower design with your round beads. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take out some pearls. Again, these are our 6mm pearls. I'm going to cut these apart. And I need a total of 6 of these 6mm pearls. So I've got my 6mm pearls out. And then last month you got some 11Os. This month you got some 8Os. So I'm going to reach into my stash here and get some 11O seed beads to go along with it. And then cutting apart my strand of my Jonquil beads, I just need 1. Or you can reverse it and do 2. So you can either do the darker flower or the lighter flower. I figured we'd do the darker because then it's a little bit easier for you to see. And then I love the idea of doing this in some colors to match. All right, so where did my thread go? I had it threaded. There we go. So here is my thread, and I'm using size 6 dragon thread. You can use a size 8 as well. The 8 is actually really nice because you can go in and it'll keep its shape really, really well. And if you don't have any of these waxed cotton cord necklaces, they're awesome to have on hand. We have them in brown and black. And I love using them because they just have a nice kind of shiny polished look. We're going to bring the camera in a little bit closer as I show you how to do these simple little flowers. They can be done with so many different beads. So you don't need to limit yourself when thinking about creating with this. I'm going to grab an 11O seed bead that is not part of my design. And I'm going to make a little stop bead out of this. Bringing it down to the bottom of my thread. And I have way more thread than I need. Got excited and kept going with my thread. And I like how this was added with right angle weave. So I'll show you how to do that. And we can go right into making alternate designs here. So we can do, actually we'll get out a couple more of the yellows. And I've got a couple more of my pearls here to go in and create with. All right, how is everybody doing today? I know this is a live, and when we do the live classes, there's always kind of that interaction. Everybody can give a thumbs up. You can join in the chat if you want to. Tell us what you want to see. And if you have other designs that you want to take a closer look at, let me know. The glamorous earrings are already recorded, and those published on YouTube last week. So if you want to check those out and how that is done. So we're going to begin with our orange flower here. The orange flower starts out actually with the yellow in the middle. So I'm going to take my yellow bead. I'm going to put it right in the middle there. And now I'm going to go to the outer edge and I'm going to bring my thread up to the side and I am going to do my outer strand. Now there's a number of different ways you can do this. You can add this bead after the fact and make the loop, or you can add the bead in right away. I'm going to use the center bead and then a pearl. And we're going to put 3 pearls on with an 11O seed bead. And I have metallic light bronze. I think in her design, Chris had metallic bronze. I actually have it up here for another project that I'm working on. I've been busy recording. All right, those 3 beads go on and they're going to go to the side of the 7mm bead. Remember the yellow bead, or sorry, the side of the 6mm bead, and just kind of be right there along the side. Flip it over, kind of moving that bead out of the way here. And what we're going to do is we are going to do the same thing on the opposite side. 3 pearls that have an 11-0 seed bead between each one of the pearls. Dropping this then back into that yellow bead. So you're coming out the bottom, you add the 3 beads with the 2 seed beads in between, and then you're coming into the top. That is going to bring that to the side. Now see how that sits off to the side? That's okay because we're going to pull it in closer. We're going to go back through that last side that we just did, going through all the beads. If you want to make your flower a little bit more substantial, you can certainly do so by adding extra beads along the outside here. And when I get back to that stop bead, I'm going to skip over my yellow bead, grab an 11-0 seed bead, and we're going to sew right into my next pearl. Like I said, I have a size 6 dragon thread already on my needle. I would have preferred a size 8 just to keep that form a little bit better. Going through all the beads on the opposite side then, we're going in to create this circle, adding in the 11-0 and going back to that first side. Give a tight pull and see how that starts to grab in and make that more of that rounded effect. I'm going to go in here and go back through that starter side. Give a nice tight pull through the 11-0 in the middle there and back down. Now, if I had a thicker thread, so this is a good practice of when you have threads, kind of what to do. If I had a thicker thread, I probably wouldn't need to go back around here, but because I don't, I am going back around. And I'm going to come out through that center 11-0 and give a nice tight pull. Now I have the outside of my flower here, and I'm going to go in and use some seed beads to decorate the interior. And again, a couple of different ways how to do this. I'm actually looking, I'm like, okay, how did Chris do hers? I'm going to go to the exterior here of my 11-0 seed bead, or my 6mm Jonquil bead. And I'm going to come out that Jonquil bead, and I'm going to add seed beads along the outer edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to add 8 because mine's a little bit looser. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you want to, you can even add the exterior of an 8 line and then the exterior of 11 that sits on the top of it. Just like we did with the pearls along the outside, we're coming out of the top of the Jonquil yellow bead. We add our 8 seed beads and we go into the bottom and back up to the top. That's going to round those seed beads out in there. And see how that puts seed beads right along that outer edge? Same thing here. We're going to go in and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Coming from the top, going into the bottom. Oop. My thread's so long, I'm getting caught on my tools. All right, we're going to bend those seed beads open a little bit. And just like we did previously on the pearls, we're going to go the whole way around. Now, if you notice that your seed beads aren't quite holding down the whole way, you can go in here and you can basically attach them to the side. So I'm going in here and I'm pulling that down nice and tight around, and see how this is kind of popping up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thread, bring it out here, go into the bead that sits right across from it, and give a nice tight pull. I'll pull it out to the side a little bit. Go in here and find your next area where it sits. So probably about probably 3 seed beads there. And you can pull that to the side as well. Nice tight pull. And that gets you those seed beads to sit down and cooperate. I'm going to go over here and back through to the opposite side. Nice tight pull. You don't really even see that thread at all. Over to the opposite side. Now, if I would have done my circle first and then added my 6mm Jonquil in the middle, that would have had a little bit of a better effect for the jonquil bead to sit down a little bit further. So here along the side, same deal. Going in, I'm going to find those 3 beads coming out the pearl, 3 beads that sit opposite, going into them and tightening this up. Once you come through one of those beads, I'm going to go up to the middle here of my piece. It kind of sits a little bit oblong, which is perfect because I need to do that right angle weave for me to connect my piece. I'm going to go back into my subscription box and grab my 8 seed beads here. Take those out, just a couple. And we're going to start by doing a right angle weave unit, which is 3 more seed beads. And then we're going to go back through that 11 seed bead that our thread is currently coming out of. I'm going to move my scissors finally. And that puts that right angle weave unit right there in the center. See how it's right there in the center as well? I'm going to come up into that right angle weave unit, going through the next 2 beads, the beads that sits to the side, and then the bead that is right at the top of the flower. We're going to do 1 more right angle unit. This time we're going to do an 8, 11, 8. Back into that bead that your thread is currently coming out of. Back down along the side here. And into that center bead. Once you're out of that center bead, we're going to do 1 more right angle unit, which is going to be 3 more beads to catch onto that here. I'm going to pull that in. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3 more 11 So into the opposite side of where your thread is currently coming out of. And that gets me that right angle unit. Now we're going to go in here, go through bead number 1 out of that 3 you just added. And then we're going to come out of bead number 2 that you just added, which again is that bead at the top of the right angle weave unit. So see, we have 1 unit that we created next to the pearls, the 2nd unit with the 8 and the 3rd unit next to the pearls. Now we're going to switch colors. We're going to pick up 1 of our 6mm jonquil followed by an 11 and we're going to do that 6 times. So we're going to end up with 5 11 seed beads on our thread with 6 of my yellow seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 5th. And then here's a 6th. Now I don't need the seed bead after this because we're going to go in and, oops, I have an extra seed bead there for the purpose of not going in and starting this over. Pulling that to the side, I broke one of the seed beads. You don't want to do that often because it can snap your thread. But since we're on live here, I don't want to take time to unstring it. Going back in then to that 11 seed bead. So I put on my 6 6mm rounds with an 11 seed bead between each, but not a seed bead at the start or the end because it's connecting to this right angle weave that sits on the opposite side. Look at that. We just got our next floral base. From here, we're going to go back through and we're going to do a little bit of reinforcing with this thinner thread. If you want to, while you're here also, you can do that right angle weave for the next one and do it almost as a daisy chain. Nice and tight. And then once I get back to the center here and do a nice tight pull, I'm going to go into the center. This time I'm going to add an 11 a pearl, and an 11 My thread is currently coming out of the left side basically of that bead there. I'm going to go into the left side of the bead that sits. Actually, what I'm going to do is go back into that center 11 come on out. Here's another way to do this. Add an 11 seed bead, a pearl, and an 11 seed bead. Go to the 11 on the opposite side, sew through that. Right or left, doesn't matter. What does matter is that you're going to go back through that same 11 seed bead, back through the pearl, back through the 11 seed bead on the opposite side, pulling that in towards the center. And then here when I'm at the bottom, I want to make sure that I go into the opposite side of the 11-0 seed bead that my thread was currently coming out of. Nice tight pull, and that gets that pearl in the middle. Go back up through the 11 and the pearl, and now we're going to do our seed beads around the outer edge. Because they came in the box, let's do some 11-0s, or some 8-0s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 beads, and then back through the pearl for a little bit of a different look. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. I need to get out a couple more of my seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, you can check out our YouTube schedule. We are going to be doing, I have 2 workshops that I'm going to be doing in April and May, YouTube Live, for these live classes. It's really helpful to go and see things done live because it makes it easier to create and to explain. So there I have my 8-0 seed beads, same as I did before. I'm going to sew through all of those seed beads that I just added around my pearl. And this looks like a beautiful springtime flower. And what we're going to do now is we are going to exaggerate it. So each step we're kind of adding something that's a little bit different. From here, after you go the whole way around that set there, I'm going to go so I can come out through my pearl bead along the bottom here. Go through my pearl at the base. And now I'm going to use my 11-0 seed beads. So I'm going to use the 11-0s and we'll do a series, let's see, about 8. And we're going to go into our pearl as well. Might need to do more than 8. We'll see. Kind of doing this on the fly. And I want this to sit right behind the 8-0 seed beads to get a darker layered look. From here, you can go in and add those 8 11-0s on the opposite side. 9 probably would have been better, but just giving you an idea how to work with all different beads. Go into the opposite side again of that same pearl bead and do it so the 11-0s actually sit towards the outer edge of the 8s. You could even do peyote stitch if you wanted to, and that would do it. If you ever have this where you're like, I need more beads here, and I know I should have done more beads because I have areas that are open and exposed, you can make up for that. So what you can do is take your extra beads here, and we're going to make our ring. So just like we did with the 8-0 seed beads, we're going to go back into our 11-0s, starting and going through all of the 8s that sit on the outside, or the 8 seed beads that sit on the outside. And when we get to the end of the 8s here, where we need more beads, we're just going to add them before we go to the other side. Just going to add 4 more 11s, and then go in. We'll see if 4 is enough. Go to the other side and string through those 8. Once you're through the 8 on this side, you're going to add 4 more as well at the top here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and over to the 11 there. So that makes that loop a little bigger on the outside. And this one doesn't want to cooperate here because I think I got my thread mixed a little bit in there. But you can see how that gets you a multi-layer flower as well too. You could have, if you wanted to, done the 15 or the 11s on the inside, 8s on the outside. I liked the color of this. I'm just doing it quickly. Oh, see, I still have some more thread exposed there. So I should have done some more seed beads to get it to wrap the whole way around the flower. Now, once you're done, you can go into a bead that sits near. So I'm going to go through these seed beads here. and go through my baseline and out the 11O. And then guess what? We get to go in and do our right angle weave connection again. 3 more beads back into the 11O seed bead that sits between the rounds, up along one of the side beads, and out through the bead that sits on the right-hand side of that right angle weave. Use your 8O seed beads on the side, 11, 8, back into the bead that your thread is currently coming out of. And that gets you that next right angle weave connection. Go through the 8 and out through the next 11. One more right angle weave. 1, 2, 3. Into the opposite side of the seed bead your thread is currently coming out of. Up through the first bead that you added and bring your needle and thread out the second. Here we are now ready to add in 6 more of our pearl beads. 6 more pearl beads get added. It really wants to hide out down there. 6 more pearl beads get added, and then you continue on with the pattern as well. You can also, just having this idea here, look at this. Here is a different look. We're going to do 6 of our petals. Now, the thing with petals that you have to be aware of is that petals, and I'm just doing the petals right after one another. After 3, I'm going to add 1 11O for my contact point. Then I'm going to add 3 with no 11s in between. Petals will move up and down, so we might need to create an anchor for these petals. But you're going to go through that 11O seed bead, and here you have a petal on your piece. From this petal that's on your piece here, you can add in a seed bead in the middle. We're going to reinforce again that thinner thread, and we're going to come out the 11O on the opposite side. Pull that nice and tight. Grab a pearl. Oops. Go to the 11 on the opposite side. So into the opposite 11 side. There we go. Nice and tight pull there. Untwist my needle through my thread. There we go. And that is going to put your pearl right in the middle. From here, go back through the pearl. No seed beads before or after. And go back through the 11O that your thread is currently coming out of. From here, I'm in the 11O seed bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 11s. Go to the opposite side of the pearl. Sew through the 11O that's already there. That's our connection. 6 more, maybe 7. And this is all the exact same technique that we have been using. Back through, I'm going to do a 7th one because I definitely need it. Through that 11O. And there you have a little floral design as well. So you can do this daisy chain almost like a spring version here, where you can do all kinds of different ones. If you want these pearls to stay, or the petals to stay where they are, come out through the other side. You can come out each pearl if you want to, or each petal if you want to. And here for my 4mm pink pearl or pink crystals. Put an 11O on. Put a 4mm crystal, 11O on. And the petal that you're coming out of, go back through that same petal, forcing those crystals to stay to the front. Go through the next petal. 11, crystal, 11, through the petal, and at the same time through the next petal. When you're out the next petal, and you can do this to the opposite side as well, so that way your petals here will sit and cooperate. There we go. Next one here, 4mm 11-0 seed bead, 4mm into the next petal, through the 11-0. If you went into the next petal, that would be pretty amazing. Your needle and thread is likely to come out. Gotta make sure I'm not twisted around the previous collection there. I am, of course I am. I'm gonna sit a little funky because of that, but I'm not going back. Nice tight pull over to the next one. Then the final thing will be to put an 11-0 between each one of your 4mm beads. So we're going to go in here, same thing. If you had 15-0s, you could certainly use 15s, or you can drop your 3mm crystal in here as well. And I love the petals or daggers because you can do so much with them. And this is just a creation off cusp, on the fly, using them. 4mm goes on, seed bead on either side, back through the petal, oops, and then into the next dagger petal. Keeping that to the front of the design. Along the back, you can just do 11-0 seed beads, do 4 11s, and then connect them so that way, as you create, your petals will stay to the front. And you can string through those all. I forgot to go through my petal. And out. 11, 4, 11. Through that petal. Through the next one. Moving that to the front. Stay to the front there. Sometimes it helps if you talk to your beads. That's why I do live. So I stop talking to my beads and I talk to you guys. Makes me feel a little bit less like I'm talking to my beads. But we all know I'm talking to my beads. And you too. All right. There goes our 11-0 and our 4s. Now I'm going to take an 11-0, sew through to the next 4mm bead. 11-0 through to the next 4. And if the 11s don't work, just grab an 8-0 seed bead. This should pull them up above. Once you're between the petals there, you may need to add another crystal. I don't think so. I think we're going to be fine. Crystal goes to the center there. And if I knew I was doing this, I would not have added the seed beads along the exterior of the pearl. There's a lot going on in there. 11-0 on into the 4mm. Push those seed beads down. They're kind of in the way now, but that's okay. Just a little sample piece. And there you have the crystals around the exterior of the flower. If I did not have the seed beads there, it would hold in a little bit better with those crystals, but they're competing for space. Trying to go through here, push those down, create this second layer, and strengthen up that petal. And then that's not going anywhere. You can see right here, that is not going anywhere, that flower. Probably one more petal would fit nicely too around the exterior, but there's another little flower petal design. So lots and lots of options that you can go around the design and see all of those different ways to create a floral design, all with things that are from inside this subscription box. So again, this is the treasure box. You can see that I could take Chris's beautiful pendant. Actually, that one looks nice with that right on the top. Chris's beautiful pendant that she made out of the form, and decorate that as well. We have those fun twisted little flower beads also. Lots and lots of things with the beautiful navette here in the center, which you could also put at the top of this too. This could hang there, make it have a little bit more of that drastic look. So I'm inspired. I'm going to play around with some of these daggers and get a little bit of a different look as I go in now and create. I'll create something for you guys out of those daggers in addition to the glamorous earrings. Maybe we'll do the idea of kind of a big one with some of the navettes on the exterior of that as well too. So The same beads, yeah, can make things look so different. And also the same pattern with different beads can make them look so different. We did the same thing with the 6 beads on the exterior going around the bead, 6 beads on the exterior going around the bead. So a lot of different uses for a lot of different beads. Remember, there are also the little beads here that are the macaroni beads. I took 24 gauge wire, made those into little earrings, did the stretchy string here, size 8 stretchy string with those macaroni beads as well. And just kind of one of those, you can wear it for anything and everything. I like the look of mixed metals with the gold and the silver. I know some people hate it. I'm actually wearing it up here too. But I love the look of the gold and the silver. So here's kind of my set to wear with my glamorous earrings. Hopefully you guys were inspired to create with this box as well. The pink lemonade box is one of my favorites so far of the boxes that we have because I love that look of the yellow and the pink together. Although we used a lot of the peaches in this design. The Nivettes do have, so Chris, good question. The Nivettes are in a setting. It makes them easy to use. So you can check that out with them. Easy to use with the Nivettes. If you want to see more or you want more ideas, you can certainly go to our website and you can search for projects based on the style of bead that you have or necklace, earrings, and so forth. So you can go to the How to Bead section and drop that down at potomacbeads.com. Remember, if you need anything, there's always links in the bottom of this video. And thanks so much for hanging out with me for the last hour. Thank you a ton to Chris Lewis King, who's on here, one of our community members that sent in a bunch of designs that she created. So if you missed this beginning of this unboxing, make sure to go back and check out the kit versions as well of the samples that I showed you. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Don't forget to hit that little subscribe button so that way you get notified when we're live or when we have new videos that come out too. Thanks again. Happy beading and stay tuned for more inspirational designs. Bye everyone.